start recently. And you know what that usually means. All the spooky stuff is coming around. So I thought I'd embrace my inner witch and, you know, have a little fun. And I also thought I'd embrace the inner witch of a couple Disney princesses today. So I hope you enjoy the little content I got for you happening. It was a lot of fun, a lot of struggle. But in the end, it turned out pretty good. And I really think you're gonna like it. So let's make some Disney princesses into witches. Oh wait, wrong thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some sketches here, starting off with Rapunzel, because that was the first one suggested. I'll put an image above that you can see that I'm referencing, and I'm going to take this pose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw it, just to sort of get an idea of how I want to draw her. And I'm going to change her clothes to look more like that of the witchy clothes, and I think that could be really fun. Let's have to get the pose right first. So I actually really love Rapunzel. She's like my favorite princess out of all the Disney princesses, new and old. From all the different eras, she's definitely my favorite. I think it's her artistic, like I just really resonate with her, and she's very artistic, and she grew up with a very, and like her home life is very, like I resonate with the home life as well. I just really, her story just really resonates with me, and I think that's why I really love her. She just reminds me of when I was in high school, and I mean this came out when I was like middle school or high school, something like that. And it, like her story, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I really like her story, and I can really understand it and resonate with it, and I love it. The whole thing, I love it. The artistic personality, the kind of tomboy attitude, but you know, there's just so much of her that's just so cute, and I just love her. Also, ignore the really weird cat-like creatures in this. I was sketching those earlier, and I didn't want to let the paper go to waste, so I'm sketching it on here too. I'm just going to continue to sketch on this sheet until it's full. I'm not entirely drawing it exactly like how Disney has her and everything. I'm kind of just sort of drawing them in my style, because why not? Okay. I'm not going to do too much with her outfit, because I don't want to change everything too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work with this. I kind of really like her outfit the way it is, because it's already kind of witchy in its own way. It just needs a couple more aspects to it. So I'm just going to draw her outfit as it is shown, and then just give her little accessories, because I don't think there's too much that has to really be done. So I think, now that I got that drawn out, I think what I'm going to do to make her look a little more witchy is just sort of give her like a witch's hat for sure, because I mean, witches hats. Right? They all gotta have some sort of witch's hat. Question is, what kind? I feel like I want her hair to sort of just drop more. And instead of like doing anything there, what she's gonna do is she's just gonna be holding. It's like her hair is gonna just drop here, so let's see, how do I do that? Make her hair just go like that, and what she'll hold instead is her as a wand. I feel like she needs a bunch of flowers, because like, I don't know. She's usually associated with flowers. She's got the whole thing going on in the movie. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I do love it though. Oh, that'd be cute, having little flower magic. Oh, I like this idea. Like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's cute. So like maybe she just has like little. Oh, it is so pretty. I mean, I'm not quite sure how much you do with it. Just put a little pastel here. There's a little pastel. To be honest, I don't think there's too much to do with her. She's already got that whole witchy vibe as it is. I'm gonna make Pocahontas, and I like her too. She's a fun one. Again, I got a reference photo that I'm going off of for the pose at the moment, in order to figure out exactly, like, just to figure out how to draw her for now. Now, I'm not going with any realistic kind of styles here, like of witches, just going with fun little things here. But I think that's okay. Point is just have fun and what they look like in a witch's costume, sort of thing. In my opinion, she would have more of a, like, foresty vibe. Hers a little different, because she's got a lot. Gotta give her her little buddies, because she does have a lot of little buddies. Let's see if I can't make some actual drawings.
So, when doing Rapunzel, like for the finished drawing, I wasn't quite sure what I want to do. I liked the sketches I made, like the one sketch I made of her, and I thought I understood her pretty down pat, and I think I did. But I didn't really want to do the exact thing that Disney had, like their exact pose I did for the sketch. I only did, like I said, I only did that to sort of figure out what I wanted to do. But I think in the end, what I ended up doing in the end was to make my drawing that my own, to make the Rapunzel kind of my own for this drawing, I just went and I gave her a portrait because I didn't think she needed her entire outfit since her outfit wasn't going to change much. I wanted to focus mainly on her face, getting the hat, and bringing Pascal and putting in her little paintbrush wand. And I think I managed to do that. And I think this whole thing came together when I added the color. The line art's okay, but I think the color really cinched it, those little details in afterwards.
So now that I've finished the sketching and I've aligned everything off camera, I'm going to come in with some colored pencils and color her. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It kind of looks like her. I think with the color it'll really sell it. But yeah, come back with the colored pencils.
So when coloring this piece, I decided to use all my colored pencils because sometimes when I do big pieces like this, I like to use marker, which I did technically do in the second one with Pocahontas, but I don't have like a bunch of markers, at least not good markers, and I wanted to make this look really nice. So I just stuck with my colored pencils to my wrist protest because my wrist ended up hurting so bad after this. There's a reason why I have a glove on later on. But I used the colored pencils, and what I did was I found roughly 3 to 4 of like varying shades of similar colors. So like for the skin, I went and used like I think apricot and peach and a little bit of like light orange and possibly normal orange. I just sort of did light little layers with them, overlaying parts to get more shading and value out of it. Like on the cheeks, I put more of the apricot in there, and same with on the lips and the nose. The lips, though, because in the picture she has a bit of darker lips, that's where I added some of the orange and everything. And on tones where it had to be much darker. And I'm really happy with that. I did that for everything, including like with the hair. I used like 3 different yellows, actually 2 yellows and an orange, I think. But it worked out. It was a lot of work. It took me, I don't know how long it took me. Probably like 3 hours. Well, no, I wouldn't say 3. It took me almost an hour, if not longer, hour and a half. But I think it was really worth it. And it was just a lot of same motions. The hair, though, was a little different than most of everything else, where I wanted it to be more smoother. So I was doing semicircular, somewhat circular motions. But with the hair, I did more streaking because this really helped to get more of the hair texture, I think. Yeah, I mean, not much to say. It was just a lot of work and a lot of going over and over again in order to get the hair brighter, but also not going too hard, because if you go too hard right away, you're not going to be able to get enough. You're not going to be able to go over that again, because at that point you kind of sealed it. That's why I go over a lot of these layers with once more, a little harder, sealing everything else that was done a little lighter. In the end, also making it look a little brighter than it was. Pencils are weird. Using colored pencils is really weird and difficult and hard, but I think I finally figured it out, sort of. Yeah, not much else to say on that for now. I don't think. We'll find out later. And here I'm coloring Pascal. Please do not judge him or my skill. I've never drawn a chameleon, let alone, I don't think I've drawn a chameleon, I should say, before. Unless if I did, it was like little doodles on a not sketchbook, but like my school books. But do not judge him. He is adorable in his own way, and it took me a lot to get the right colors. I think I used 5 shades of green on him. And then I just went back to the clothing for Rapunzel, which I used a lot of pinks and purples. I tried to keep it light around her forearms because, like, for her sleeves, because it's very light in there. And I also went in, it's hard to tell, but where there's those little ruffles, I made my best to make them look kind of see-through. So they're very, like, I went in with my colors, my colored pencils there. For every color that it looked as though the see-through ruffles, laciness were going over, I went in and I sort of just lightly went over where that's a shading would be or a color would be. And I also realized while looking at the picture, because you can see I'm making a bunch of little ornate details, like little squares and scribbles. In the picture, like, that I was looking at, that I was using for reference of her, I noticed there was a lot of detail, like little images or like patterns on her shoulders or sleeves and around her wrist. There's also like some blue flowery patterns I noticed at the end of her skirt, which I actually implemented into her hat. There's a lot I did in this. It was a lot of experimental in some ways too. And like I said before, I'm really happy with things came out. In order to get some of these pinks and purples though to look right, I went with the lightest more often, not with the pink, and except I think on the top where like around her breast area, I used a brown there. And then I added the pink, or not brown, I used a purple. Completely different color, but I used a purple there and then went in with a bit of it was either purple or it was violet. I'm not quite sure. And there is a difference because technically I have a light violet and a violet, and I have a light purple and a purple. These pencils are weird. I don't understand, but I was able to go in with the pinks and the purples. Again, a lot of just layering. In the end, though, it looks really good, I think, and I'm really happy with how I did it. I was happy with what I was able to achieve. So here you can see I went in and I painted her paintbrush, or not painted, I colored her paintbrush. I can't word today. And I gave her a paintbrush, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I gave her a paintbrush to sort of like symbolize the fact, she's an artist. So, she gets a paintbrush. It's the same reason I gave her a bunch of flowers is there is numerous times where she has flowers in her hair. And she likes them, and she just loves them. And I decided to go with blue flowers. Honestly, looking back at it, I probably should have kept those flowers white. But what's done is done. My thought process was blue flowers because blue trim on the hat, but maybe I just should have kept them white because they looked a lot nicer, and now it takes away by putting all that blue in there. Either way, though, it turned out pretty good.
Oh, man, I think she turned out so cute. I love her. Oh, she's beautiful. But I think I'm gonna move on to doing Pocahontas. And, oh man, I can't get over how cute she is. My hair has been so bad today and this whole week, and then I was so worried I messed it up, but she turned out gorgeous. I just love the little details I gave her, honestly. I mean, oh, so cute. Okay, let's move on now before I just start gushing over this thing even more.
So, I really struggled trying to figure out how I wanted to draw Pocahontas. I really liked her stance that she already had from the picture I was going off of, but I still wanted to implement magic, and I didn't like the witch hat though, and it was really difficult, to be honest. I struggled a lot, and in the end I think I found out ways to make it Pocahontas and keep Pocahontas, while also bringing in a couple other, like, witchy vibes instead of actually going full-on witch. And one of those things I did was I decided, she already kind of has that song, Paint with All the Colors of the Wind, and there's that whole scene where it's like all the leaves and the wind is blowing around her, and there's already kind of a magical vibe with that. I mean, Pocahontas itself has a magical vibe, which is awesome. It's such a cool movie. I mean, it's got its problems like anything, but it's a good movie. I like it. It's a fun movie in its own way too. But I decided, why not give her wind magic? Make her like sort of be able to motion with her arms, the movement of the wind. And I think it worked, and in that process I thought, she can also kind of like pick up her little raccoon buddy and the little pug, which I thought was really fun, bring in some leaves and have her little hummingbird friend. I don't remember the names. It's been a while since I've watched Pocahontas as well. But yeah, I mean, the little differences I did make with her compared to the actual image was that I sort of elongated her skirt a little more, and I also I think I just did a little more movement. I mean, I didn't change too much. Towards the end of this video, I did add some paint, like face paint, like war paint, kind of. I'm not really sure what kind of paint, what it considered, to sort of, because I found some images looking up on Pinterest that I liked, and you can see I was using one here to get an idea with the posing. I didn't go quite off of it, but I will put all those links down below, of course, so you can see them yourself. But I was looking at a couple different things, and I found something that I thought was really cool. It made her seem very tribal and just beautiful all at the same time, and powerful, and it's hard to explain. It's better if you watch and keep watching and you can see what I'm talking about. But I do think it really worked with everything I did.
Okay, now that I've got this one all lined, I'm going to do this one, color this one just a little differently. I'm going to use some Bic markers to get some base colors because I actually have markers that will work with the color scheme compared to the last one. So, yeah. And I'm also going to go over it with pencil afterwards for more details. But yeah, I'll get back to this and start drawing. See you guys at the end. I think, unless I come and say something else, I'm not really sure.
So, a couple things I should probably mention with this drawing. One thing I was doing, and for anyone who's used Bics or Sharpies, you know, they're not really art supplies, they're stationery supplies. And so they don't have a huge range of colors all the time. I mean, they have a large amount of colors, but it just depends. They're usually pretty vibrant colors. I had a few here that really worked. I used like a Summer Melon, I think, for her skin, and it was very orangey, but in the original image, she has a very orangey bronze-like skin tone, and I basically put that down along with a couple other colors. It looks very weird at first because, I mean, she's got this orange skin. As you can see, I'm putting in blue hair. I did that because in the image it's blue, but it's very dark blue because if you go pure black sometimes, especially in like animations and you're using like black line art or you got other things, I mean, you see it in a lot of illustrations. If you watch anime, they do they do it as well, where you have the very dark blue or very dark purple hair. It's kind of like a animation thing or even illustrative way to keep hair dark but not be totally dark. I think I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I went down with my Bic markers first to sort of just get the tones ready, like yellow for the clothing. The only time I used like I didn't use a full black unless it was a colored pencil. I used like a dark gray, like a gray, like Cloud9 gray, I think, for some of the black bits, like on the animals. And I used this blue, this kind of pink and a green for her little hummingbird buddy. And then I came in on the leaves and I used orange, I think, and an orange and a green. And I kind of just mixed them a bit. Like, I mean, you could see it when it pops up, how I mixed them a little and sort of give these look of, you know, the leaves turning. They're no longer pure green and they're starting to turn orange, but they're not fully orange. And I went for most of what was in the lines, and then I also did some freehand ones without the lines, which was really fun. Yeah, not too much to say on that. So now you can see me coming in with a brown pencil. I think this was just normal brown. I'm not quite, I can't really remember. And I thought I messed up here, but I was able to save it because I was trying to do some shading and again blush, kind of like what I did in the other one. But since this is with colored pencils and markers, sometimes it can be a little drastic if you're not careful. But I think in the end, though, it was okay. It's hardly noticeable if I made any mistakes. And this was a very good color for like shading or just, you know, bringing in more tone. I went for a dark brown and I used black in her, like a dark brown around her belt and Then I used a black, like I was saying earlier, over top the blue marker. And this sort of made her hair look dark and black, but also just like in the illustration I was looking at from the original from like I think the cover of the movie or something like that, she has blue lines in her hair, and so this black and blue combo sort of really works and keeps that similar look. And honestly, I really love it. And I went hard like before making streaks because I want it to look like hair follicles. I don't want it to be a solid color. I like streaky hair, I guess you could say. And then I used a black also on top of that cool gray for her little animal buddies, which really worked. And I continued to do this with different things. I came in with like an orange or a red for her little tattoo that she has, a light blue on her necklace. Just constantly using colored pencils to define shading and put in more color shift and tone. You'll notice soon that I did that for her dress, where I came in with yellow, and like I came in with a chrome yellow, and I want to say what else was the yellow? Like a light orange or something. Kind of like I did for Rapunzel's hair in the earlier. And it really helped to give that whole golden look to her dress, which they do in the movie. It's almost got like this golden yellow sun. I can't describe it. It looks really good. It's yellow, but it's also got tinges of orange, and I think by putting in that chrome yellow and adding the orange, it really helped bring that same color shift and very similar tone, and I liked it a lot. Honestly, I'm very happy with how this came out. I'm very impressed by it, if I just say so myself, and I do. It just turned out to be a good art day, which I was happy about. And again, I came in with like a vermilion to buff up the pink. And then I went in with a little bit of green and a little bit of blue to give her some grass and sky. And here I came in with a white gel pen. And this helped to give her some the tribal paint that I was mentioning earlier. And I think by doing this, it really cinched the deal and actually made her look more magical. And I think it helped. It just really helped, in my opinion. And I really liked it. I mean, it looks really cool.
Man, that looks so cool. I had fun with it. I don't know if it's witchy or not. You let me know. Is this witchy or is it not? Or is it just magical princess? Either way, I really liked it. I think overall, I think both these drawings turned out really well, and I'm very, very pleased with how they both came out. I was a little nervous. The funny thing is, both of them had me nerve-wracked that I wasn't doing them very well. Like this one, I mean, the line art, it was like, okay, it's not my best line art, but in the end, it turned out really good, and I think it does look like Rapunzel, but also keeping into my own style, and I think it was really fun to do. I got to do a little more clothing detail. And this one, I decided, with Pocahontas, I decided to go and give her more of a full scene instead, because I didn't want to do too, like, I couldn't think of a good way to incorporate the witchiness in just a headshot. Like with Rapunzel, it was pretty easy. She needed a whole movement thing. And I'm glad I was actually able to use markers with this one, because otherwise my hand would have been dying and it would probably not have been done. But yeah, I mean, This one I loved the line art though, and I thought I almost messed it up though with the coloring, but I think in the end it turned out great. I just love how it all worked out, and I'm so glad I got to use markers with it. I love using markers with it, so I got it cut short now. I love using markers and colored pencils. It's so much fun. And everything. But, you know, if you like this video, leave a like, you know, comment. Let me know what's your favorite, who's your favorite Disney princess? Mine is definitely Rapunzel. But, you know, and also, as always, links are in the my links are in the description as our reference links. You can find me on Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, and Ko-fi. If you want to commission, I've got them open on there. Also, I'll put some videos up for you guys to see, so you guys can look and see something else that you might like. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. I might do Disney princesses again in the future. I don't know, but we'll see. In the meantime, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye!